Hello and welcome back to Quarterlight, your car brochure channel. Today we're going to be looking at the Fiat Multipla. Welcome back, and if you are into car brochures, please do subscribe. I'm sure you'll find something interesting here. Today's episode, the Fiat Multipla, launched and sold in Italy in November 1998. In other places, it went on sale a year later. It ran all the way to 2010, but it did have a facelift around about 2004, I do believe. It was a clever design, designed to get as much space in a short box as possible. It was a 6-seater, but not very long. It was certainly a lot shorter than its rivals, so it's a clever idea, and it sold really well in Italy, not so much in other places like the UK. Motoring journalists slated it for being one of the ugliest cars of all time, they were also saying, why are all cars bland? It didn't really make any sense, really. It was nice to see something different on the roads. Like I say, it did have a facelift in 2004, but it just made it blander. The original design was by far my favourite. Today's brochure is an early one, dated November 1998. So let's have a look and see some of the clever ideas. So, first mistake of the day, actually, I think I said in the introduction this was November 1998. This is a UK brochure, so it's November 1999 when the Multipla came out in the UK. It came out in Italy first, of course. An unusual design, wasn't it, with this sort of like stepped idea with its extra lights in. Like I say, deemed by many journalists. I think the Daily Telegraph ranked it number 2 ugliest car of all time. But a very clever idea, and I was happy to see a different design. I always found that was strange that journalists were also saying all cars were really bland at this time as well. It was designers couldn't win, but I'm always happy when designers think outside the box. So the Multipla name, of course, used previously, like a lot of car names are, used on the Fiat 600 Multipla in the 50s and 60s. Clever design, as you can see. 3 seats at the front and 3 seaters behind. Something that had never been really thought about before. And as we go into the interior, you can see what a wacky interior is, with this centre speedo here, or maybe not centre, but off centre maybe. The little gear lever there, and all these vents, and this wacky purple colour in this particular example. Nothing really to be seen much in front of the driver apart from this little bit here. So yeah, very wacky design. I always like designs like this though. It's nice to be different, isn't it? Why do we all want to be driving the same car? And if you had 6 passengers, I think this was like a perfect way to get around, wasn't it? Again, another little example of that. Gauges on there. The Multipla was based on the Fiat Bravo and Brava. Again, if we turn the page still further, we get more examples showing the wacky colours you could get them in as well. Quite a short vehicle actually, so that's one of the clever ideas really. A car that's easy to park, but you can still get 6 passengers and still a decent amount of luggage space. You often found with vehicles with 3 rows of seats, you got basically nothing in the back there, but it was just clever. You can't really fault a design that's really clever and works well just because some people thought it was ugly. And yeah, it's not the most attractive looking vehicle, is it? But it is different, and I don't mind the design of this whatsoever. It is a big brochure, this is why I don't want to be spending too much on each page, but this is a nice image of how well the interior worked. You know, your mum, your dad, you got 4 kids. It was perfect, wasn't it? It was a perfect idea to get around in a very small space. If we turn the page again, a little bit more of an unusual scene here. 5 people, 3 at the front, with this table led down. That seems like a bit of an unusual way to use the seating, but it's showing the flexibility of the seats and how they were. Again, another page showing the flexibility of the seats, this time with 3 people, using the seats as like little tables or an area to pass something straight through. Again, an unusual set out. These are musicians, I guess, getting around. Car brochures were a bit wacky, like Multipla was a bit wacky, I guess. On the other page, it's showing some of the little cues, these interesting lights, etc., and door pockets, the usual things you see in there. If we turn the page over once again, it's kind of like more of the same, really. More wacky pictures of how you can have it. You know, 3 ladies at the front, and all the back can be used for luggage, or in this case, flowers. Which, you know, it's a clever way to get it around, because, you know, it's pretty much a van at that stage, so you could fit a lot of space in there. Again, we'll turn the page. Again, another setup. A little bit of an office type layouts. You can see the theme of this brochure is all about the flexibility of those seats. And again, 4 people this time, using it as a bit of a cooler and, you know, a table at the back. So it's all about how flexible those seats can really be. And then finally we get a little bit of a different shot, this time of the roof, showing these very nice twin sunroofs, which would make the interior a very light and airy place to be, and showing on here some of the standard equipment. So let's just have a quick look at this. Okay, so at this time we've got 2 specification levels. We've got an SX and an ELX. We've also got 2 engine choices, a petrol or a diesel. As you can see, the top speed is the same whether you get the petrol or the diesel. As virtually as the acceleration, the diesel does slightly faster, but the fuel consumption, we're getting averaging 44.1 with the diesel, 32.8 with the petrol. And like I say, 2 different specification levels on here. I mean, you do get a standard on the SX, things like ABS, airbags, etc., power steering, but the ELX adds things like climate control, fog lamps with the headlamp wash, of course, remote control, lock-in, 15-inch alloy wheels, special interior, heated electric folding door mirrors, fascia line in-seat matching cloth, driver's window with one-touch control, passenger side courtesy mirror with dedicated lighting, and that beautiful double electric sunroof. Nice little image on this green one here, showing how the badging would be on the diesel, the JTD 105 on the diesel. And then if we move to the other side, it's telling us a little bit about those 2 engines. So the petrol one is a 1581cc, the diesel is a 1910 cc engine. And then we turn the page. It gives us a little bit of a graphic of how the airbags work in the event of an accident, and a little bit of an X-ray picture of how it all fits together. Also a little bit of an idea how the different wheels could possibly be spec'd as. Before having a look at some of the accessories, Fiat accessory range, experience the pleasure of your car. I don't know why in cars we're always on about skiing. I don't think many cars in the UK would have been fitted with that option, but there we go. But you can see some of the accessories there, like dog guards, etc., and this sort of clever little bag that sits at the back of the seat, and you can even get a little child's toy. And finally it goes on to look at some of the the dimensions of the car itself. Like I say, a wide car, but not very long. It was a clever design overall, I think. Finally get to the specifications. I'm not going to read all this, but of course you can pause this video at any time if you do want to have a look at any of this information. Performance I always think is quite unusual, the diesel and the petrol being identical speeds, which seems very strange, although of course when it comes to fuel consumption at the bottom there, that's where the diesel really wins through. And then it gives you a little bit of a look between the two models, the SX or the ELX, and you could get the petrol or the diesel in either one, which is nice. And then interestingly on the next page we do have a look at the colours, the colour choices and the different seats you can get as well. So we'll start with the seats, I think, and as you can see the SX or the ELX had different colours there. So the SX was a satellite blue, the ELX was just blue, satellite red or claret, depending if you got the SX or the ELX. I always thought you got really nice colour choices on the Multipla. As you can see, a vast range of different colours there. I don't know which one you would have chosen. I think certainly the brighter colours really went better with the car. This mint green's quite a nice colour, I think. But even this rainforest gold really is a nice bright colour, as is this sunset red. But yeah, lots of colour choice, which of course we don't get anymore, which is certainly very sad. Then finally, actually, the back page is probably my favourite part of the entire brochure. These original sketches for the Multipla. We've got this very exaggerated windscreen. That really looks quite nice, doesn't it? As it slowly becomes the actual car, and we see how that extra light appeared as it went on before it actually became the actual car. I think that's a really nice image overall. So that is it for the Fiat Multipla, a very clever 6-seater car, really thinking outside the box. Please let me know of your thoughts or experiences with the Multipla, but that's it for today's episode. But we'll see you very soon, so we'll say please do like and subscribe, and take care, and goodbye.